The question that I want to answer today is bodybuilding bad for judo? First of all, who am I? My name is Stanislav. I am a judo black belt and a physical therapist, and I've practiced the sport for 15 plus years. And in the last 4 to 5 years, I also graduated as a physical therapist, and I started to look more into the sports science and more into the science of strength and conditioning. So I heard a lot of bad stuff around bodybuilding in the martial arts space specifically. A lot of people say that bodybuilding is this so quote unquote dysfunctional, and it make you stiff, it make you worse at your sport. And I believe that. Okay, I was guilty of believing that back when I started my strength and conditioning journey back in 2022, 2021, 2022. So I was around 20 and I wanted to train like an athlete. I wanted to become good at my sport. I want to be strong. I want to be explosive. I want to be resistant. And I heard all of this stuff online, all this content talking about, oh, bodybuilding is bad. You don't have to train like a bodybuilder, otherwise you will become stiff. Otherwise you will become dysfunctional. Otherwise you will just grow big bicep, but this will be empty muscle that won't serve you. So I trained with all the modalities that you can think of. I trained calisthenics. I trained with kettlebells, jumping, plyos, Olympic lifts. But honestly, it wasn't really helping me. All of this kettlebell training, all this jumping, all of this Olympic lifting, even though it sounded like if someone looked at me from the outside, oh, he's training in this very much cool way. Look at the movement that he's doing. He's training like an athlete. It was useless. All of that I was doing, all the Olympic lifting, all the jumping, all the plyos was, I wouldn't say useless, but it was suboptimal at best because I was weak. I was fucking weak. Once I started training strength, very basic stuff with compound movements, I saw improving my judo and also the efficiency of my plyos and my Olympic lifts. I improved my Olympic weightlifting, my clean and jerk, my snatch improved much more by improving my back squat strength rather than practicing this kind of movements. And I I started to do this more strength-like exercises, and I saw this improvement. But I still felt that voice in my head telling me, "Oh, you don't need to train like a bodybuilder because this is dysfunctional." And I refused to do isolation exercises out of ideology. It wasn't for some specific reason. It was just ideology of mine. Oh, don't want to do isolation exercises because they're not functional. It's not like squatting. It's not like doing Romanian deadlifts. This is just nonsense. And the thing is, after I stalled with my main lifts, I started doing isolation exercises because at some point you will reach a certain level, then you need to improve your hypertrophy in certain specific areas. You need to improve your strength in more specific isolated muscle in order to improve. And after I started to incorporate some isolation exercises, I felt more robust. I felt more resilient because when you're doing a bench press, yes, you're hitting your triceps, but it will never be as specific as if you're doing cable extensions. Okay. And also I manage fatigue better because at a certain point, if you want to progress on the back squat, you need to back squat more. But the problem with back squatting more is that back squat is very taxing on your central nervous system. And if you back squat too much, then when you go to your skill training and you go training judo, you feel wrecked. You feel absolutely wrecked. You cannot really improve into your judo. So it was a big problem. While if you start adding some leg extension rather than your back squatting, well, you're still hitting your quads. You're still improving strength in your lower body, but you're not as much fatigue as you would be from heavy back squats. So I firmly believe that including some form of isolated movements, especially if you're someone who is more advanced with his weight training, is absolutely beneficial for for your health, fitness, and longevity, but also for your judo performance. So the thing is, how can you start including bodybuilding like exercises in your strength and conditioning? So your Main lifts should be squats, deadlifts, or whatever form of lift of exercise, compound exercise that will hit your posterior chain, hinge like movements, upper body pushing, upper body pulling, as they should be your primary strength exercise to execute early in session. So you do that thing first. You don't start with isolation exercise. You start with heavy, ugly stuff first. So squats, deadlifts, upper body pushing, and upper body pulling. Then you finish the session when you're already tired, when you're already fatigued. You finish that with isolated movements, things like bicep curls, tricep extensions, leg curl, neck training, forearm training. You put them at the end. What I would say for main lifts, aim to 4 to 8 reps at 75 to 85% of your 1 rep max, and you stay inside 2 to 3 reps in reserve. Don't go to failure, if not occasionally, just to see if you're really training near to failure. But it shouldn't be the norm, because it's not much useful. You're exposing yourself to a useless risk of injury, and also you're fatiguing your system too much. Okay, it doesn't make sense. You're not really adapting. This is the thing that you need to understand as a judoka. Listen to me closely. This is very important. Training, the goal of training is not to exhaust yourself. I want you to understand it really clearly. In judo and in martial arts, there is this culture of killing yourself every practice. This is wrong. I wouldn't say it's wrong, but the fact is, you need to understand that your training is not more effective the more tired you are. Your training is effective if you are seeing progress week to week. If from week to week or month to month you can increase the weight that you're moving, or you're improving your skills, then your training is working. Otherwise, if you're just getting tired without seeing objective improvements in your training, you're wasting your time. Okay, this I would say that. I would say that if you're not seeing objective improvements, you're just getting tired. You're wasting your time. So, for main lifts, aim for 4 to 8 reps, 75 to 85% of your 1 rep max, 2 to 3 reps in reserve, not more. It doesn't make sense to go to failure every lift. It won't make you improve your strength much more. Research is very clear about that. While for isolated movements, aim for 6 to 10 reps, close to failure, like 1 or 0 reps in reserve. On isolated movements, you can go to failure more easily, because it's not much taxing on your system. It's and you can recover much more faster in isolated movements rather than compound movements. So I would say to incorporate isolated movements, especially for judokas, because we have our sport is very tough and it's very hard on the body. And if you're incorporating some, let's say, bicep curl, your elbows will feel better. If you start to incorporate some neck training, or isolated neck training, you will start to feel better. You'll start to feel more robust. Sorry, my dog just started to bark. Sorry, wait a second. I was saying your body will feel just better. You will feel much more resilient. You will feel less pain around your body. All right. And that's why we use that kind of exercises in rehab, for example. In physical therapy, isolation exercises are used a lot in physical therapy. So start to include them as a way of prevention, as a way of rehab, and also for aesthetics. Why not? We also can look fucking jacked, other than being skilled judoka. So that's what I wanted to say. Bodybuilding is not bad for judo. Bodybuilding is not bad in general for strength conditioning. Start to apply some of the principles, some of the useful stuff, and you will become a better judoka. You will feel better, and you don't worry, you won't become a roid monster as you see in Mr. Olympia. You won't become that. Thank you for watching. If you have some doubts, if you have some curiosities, if you have some problems that you might need to solve around rehab, around pain, or return to your sport and judo training, please let me know that in the comments, or hit me a DM on my Instagram account, which is PhysioGrappler, And that's it. Thank you for watching. Remember to aim upward as always.